Today I want to share with you this beautiful card that I made with a grid die that I got from Lifescraftart. I think this is wonderful. There's so many different ways that we can use this. I do have to tell you, this is the grid, the die, and when you get it, it comes with all these little squares inside attached. Now, I took them apart. I'm not 100% sure that I should have, but it's okay. I can still line everything up. If you're interested in getting this die, I've got the link below, and this is the discount code. So let's jump over to the cutting machine and I'll show you how this works. So I've got my sheet of paper that I want to use for mainly the outside grid, and so I've lined that up. I've cut the page almost exactly to fit that grid. I'm trying to conserve as much of my paper as I can. I'm going to run that through my cutting machine one time, and when I bring that out, you're going to see it's going to trim off just a little bit of the paper. It's a great cut. Now let's get back over to my work area, and you're going to see how easy it is just to pop these squares out and rectangle there in the middle. I'm saving those because I'm going to be using those for something else, I'm sure. So inside now is left that outside grid, and so I use a little poke tool that I have, and I'm just going to pull this out. What I like to do is kind of really pull along those lines of intersection. That gives it, the paper has a little bit more strength there, but it's really easy to pull apart there and pull this grid, the frame, out. So that's what I'm working on here. I wanted to use this silver grid and go along with a little bit of the pastel color. My card base is an unusual size at 7 15/16 by 5.5. And the way I got that size, as I fold it in half, now I'm going to have my card, it fits the grid perfectly. I really liked when it fit edge to edge with the grid. So here are all the little pieces that we're going to cut apart along with all my paper. My paper comes from a Michaels paper pad, and I'll link that below. For the grid itself, I like to glue this down. I know you can use some kind of your adhesive runners. I have a Xyron runner, but I just like my Tombow glue with this. So I'll lay that out along the grid, and then let's just attach it to the front of our card. I like to lay it there, and then I'm going to put a block on top and give it a little bit of time to set and dry. Now we'll move into adding our pieces inside the grid. So for this card, with 10 outside square pieces and 1 inside rectangle, I used, I think it was 6 different pieces of paper from this paper pad, and so 2 pieces per page except for that rectangular center. And what's so neat about this paper is when I cut from different parts of the paper, it sometimes gave me some different colors. So it almost looks like I used 10 different pieces of paper. This is a great project to use up your scraps. And I also can imagine this for the holidays. I love doing seasonal prints and having seasonal papers. This is going to be used a lot then. But I kind of wanted to go with this pastel, kind of a springy, summery kind of look. That's what I was kind of aiming for here, and this was a new paper pad that I wanted to use. So I'm just gluing these down. I like to put the glue kind of in the middle. I don't like the glue to seep out a lot, and I'm just kind of barely placing these down because then I'm going to put my block on top, and that's going to get it sealed in place. Now this also came from that paper pad. I chose 2 flowers that I want to use on front, and I'm going to do some fussy cutting. So I started some fussy cutting. I'm not going to show you all of that because it took me a little while to get all those little edges out like I wanted them. But here now are my 2 flowers that I'm going to use, and I knew I wanted to put it somewhere on the front, and I have this Oh Happy Day sentiment in this light pink. I just love all these colors together, and so now I'm just trying to decide where exactly I want to put the flowers, and I'm going to go with the bottom right corner, and we'll add our sentiment right along there as well. I'm going to use some adhesive just to put the first flower down, And then I'm going to add using some foam dimensionals that are going to pop up our other flower, the yellowish flower, and also the sentiment. So I'm just using one layer for the flowers here. And because I want that sentiment to also stand out and maybe stand out above the flowers, I'm going to use some extra foam for this one. So we want to go above the flower is what I decided on with this one. So I'm going to put 2 layers of my foam on this sentiment here. So I'll just take off the first and then we'll just stack another layer on top. So that's a neat little trick there if you're unaware of that. You don't have to have a different size. We'll just stack one on top of the other. And then we'll just apply our little sentiment on here onto the front of the flowers here. So I think this makes a great card that can be used for many different things. Birthday, just a how are you, congratulations. It turned out great. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you're interested in this die, look at the links below.